Comfort Made Mattress, North 27th Street, right next to PetSmart.
Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, Channel 8 News Midday starts with breaking news.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We're following a couple of breaking news stories this midday.
Yeah, we're going to begin with the house fire out in Waverly. Channel 8's Matthew Mitlighter has been at the scene now for more than an hour and has the latest for us live.
The fire started earlier this morning here in Waverly. We don't know a cause yet, but we do know now that no one was inside at the time. At one point, part of the house was engulfed in flames and smoke was coming from the attic and ceiling. No one was injured and there were no pets inside either. Fire Chief Jared Rains says it took about 45 minutes to get the fire under control as it spread to part of the attic. Investigators are currently going over the scene to try and determine a cause, so stay tuned for more information. Reporting from Waverly, this is Matthew Mitlighter, Channel 8 News.
All right, Matthew, thank you so much for that live report. We'll, of course, have more online at klkntv.com. A woman is recovering after being pinned under a car for several minutes. Lincoln Fire and Rescue tells us they were called to Nebraska's Innovation Campus around 8 this morning. The victim reportedly started the car to warm it up. It somehow got moved into gear and then rolled down a hill, pinning her underneath. LFR says it took them around 15 minutes to get the vehicle off of them. We're told the woman is alert right now and is expected to be okay.
And Lincoln police are investigating a crash near 40th Street and Normal Boulevard that delayed traffic during rush hour this morning. You can see significant damage to one of the vehicles in this video. Police did block a portion of the road around 7:30 this morning, but it's now clear. No reports of any serious injuries.
Authorities found over 200 pounds of marijuana after a traffic stop. They say it happened Thursday on I-80. Police pulled over 65-year-old Timothy Harris for a traffic violation. They say he was following another vehicle too closely. After searching the vehicle, they found 203 pounds of marijuana and 6 pounds of THC wax. Harris was lodged in Lancaster County on suspicion of possession of marijuana with more than 1 pound. Several advocates of a proposed concealed carry bill will be at the state capitol this afternoon. The group Nebraskans Against Government Overreach is hosting a press conference. Yeah,
we've been told the Nebraska Firearm Owners Association has already said they'll be there to support Senator Tom Brewer's latest attempt to follow Nebraskans to carry a handgun without a permit. Brewer officially filed the proposal yesterday after it failed to pass a filibuster last year by just 2 votes. However, Brewer tells the Nebraska Examiner he simplified it this time around, and he hopes more conservative legislature will allow it to pass. Still, he expects opposition, despite the support making its way downtown for today's press conference, which is slated to begin at 1 p.m.
Both the Omaha and Lincoln police departments are opposed to concealed carry without proper training. Brewer's bill would also override any local ordinances, and Senator Megan Hunt has said that could lead to, quote, vigilante justice, end quote. Still, 25 other states have passed similar legislation, and Brewer is confident he can pass his bill this time around.
And a big announcement from our new governor in Burrell Aviation. A $65 million aviation-based development is coming to the Lincoln Airport. Burrell Aviation signed a long-term lease where they will invest and develop the facility while also finding tenants that will make LNK a critical hub for air cargo and other facets of aviation. The project is expected to create between 180 and 350 permanent quality jobs for Lincoln and the surrounding communities. Burrell, which works to streamline e-commerce delivery by investing in smaller airports, says Lincoln is key to their goal due to the location and proximity to railways. The groundbreaking for the 210,000 square foot building is slated for some time in the next few months.
And this midday, Jim Pillen is officially in office after being sworn in as Nebraska's 41st governor. During the inauguration, he spoke about his admiration and love for the people of Nebraska, expressing excitement in serving this new role. He discussed transitional tax change, proper funding to schools, specifically mentioning a modernizing education and building a better future for kids in the state.
State aid to education must be modernized so that it is more equitable, meeting the needs of our students all across communities in Nebraska. All Nebraskans agree. We never, ever give up on kids, and we all agree that they are our future. We can never, ever, ever give up on our kids.
Pillen concluded with a message of working together, saying together we can and must build productive working relationships of trust and goodwill to build a better future. He also thanked his family, members of the armed service, first responders, and former Huskers football coach Tom Osborne, whom Pillen played defensive back from 1975 to 1978.
Staying in local politics, a Lincoln City councilman announced he's running for re-election. James Michael Bowers, a Democrat, represents Northeast Lincoln and was first elected back in 2019. He lost the bid to Danielle Conrad for Legislative District 46 in November. The city primary election is April 4th, and the general election is May 2nd. The House Republican saga on Capitol Hill has no immediate end in sight. Conference leader Kevin McCarthy has now lost the votes to become Speaker 11 times in the last 4 days.
Lawmakers are back in the chamber today to try again as early signs emerge of another potential move towards a deal with Republican holdouts. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with the latest.
For the first time since before the Civil War, the battle for the House Speaker is stretching towards a dozen votes. Republican leader Kevin McCarthy losing 11 times in a row so far to get the Speaker's gavel as so-called rebel Republicans stand in his way.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And if we finish well, we'll be very successful.
This as early signs point to some progress to break the Republican stalemate, though none of the movement behind the scenes have yet resulted in more votes for McCarthy since the marathon began in the House on Tuesday, leaving many wondering how long this contentious fight within the Republican conference could drag on.
No, I'm not putting any timeline on. I just think we've got some progress going on. We've got members talking. I think we've got a little movement.
A small but vocal group of anti-McCarthy far-right Republicans, however, still not relenting.
It is not happening. And as it's been said, we need to get to a point where we start evaluating what life after Kevin McCarthy looks like.
The impasse testing the patience of many lawmakers across both sides of the political aisle and continues to hold up critical government business.
Our constituents call me and they want help with passports, visas, disability claims, say with the VA, and all that's on hold. And that's because of these 20 people who are holding us hostage.
And some of McCarthy's supporters believe he's giving too much to the minority opposing him. Nebraska Republican Don Bacon adding that they cannot allow a small group to, quote, commit political terrorism. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Let's go over to meteorologist Malcolm Byron now with a first look at your midday forecast. Malcolm.
Well, we had a little bit of a chill to the air this morning. Lowest temperature I saw at Lincoln Airport was 16 degrees, which is pretty close to average. The average low is 15 degrees. Not unusual for a January day. Right now we have plenty of sunshine outside, a few high clouds drifting in overhead, a mix of sun and clouds, but the sunshine will dominate when we look back on the day. This is a live view over Honda of Lincoln, and you can see some of those high clouds looking off to the south and west. We can also see them from the overhead perspective. On satellite imagery, these are all pushing east. I suspect probably within the next 1 to 2 hours we'll see less of these clouds and a little bit more in the way of sunshine, but nevertheless just a few waves of clouds trying to move east across the state. You can see where the snowpack is because it's a little bit cooler out west. 15 degrees in Ogallala, still 9 in Valentine, 17 in O'Neill. The warmest air is where we don't have snow on the ground. That's southeast Nebraska. 29 degrees at Lincoln Airport, 33 in Beatrice, 28 in Wahoo, 29 in Columbus, and 34 degrees in Hebron. Wind speeds dead calm at Lincoln Airport, but they've risen anywhere from the 5 to 10 mile per hour range, just a little bit off towards the west. We see 8 mile per hour sustained winds in Hastings and York. For the evening commute, mostly clear skies, maybe reaching the lower 40s in Lincoln, but as the evening commute progresses, slowly dropping back into the 30s. Speaking of 30s, that's our high temperature for tomorrow. As a minor disturbance passes on by, there is the chance to see a couple of flurries, but it is not the best chance in the world. We're going to talk more about why in just a few minutes.
We'll talk to you then. Thank you, Malcolm. New this morning, a missing inmate is back in custody after being caught driving a vehicle with an expired registration. According to the Nebraska Department of Correctional Services, the woman was pulled over in Council Bluffs on Wednesday. Danielle Zelazny was arrested on new charges, including possession of drugs and operating a motor vehicle to avoid arrest. The department says Zelazny was downtown for an appointment on September 28th when she slipped away. Zelazny had only been in prison for 3 months. She had been sentenced to 2 to 4 years for burglary in Lancaster County.
Now to a developing story. The Sarpy County Sheriff says his department will begin encrypting its emergency communication system on Monday. The sheriff explains this is to protect the deputies on duty, especially in highly sensitive situations like a standoff. Now he says most law enforcement agencies already do this anyway during those kinds of situations. The sheriff says there will be a link on the department's website to apply for access to a 30-minute delayed scanner. Last year, the Omaha Police Department considered encrypting its communications as well, but received some backlash from the community about a lack of transparency.
A Lincoln woman is charged with felony child abuse after police say a gun went off in front of her kids. 34-year-old Mallory Rule was in court Tuesday. Court documents show she was threatening to kill herself while her children were at home on December 28th. Her ex-husband says she pointed a revolver to her chin. Police tried negotiating with her, but eventually burst into the home after a shot went off. Police say her daughter tried taking the gun away from her mother when it did go off. The suspect in the brutal murders of 4 college students in Idaho is being held without bail after making a court appearance on Thursday.
Yeah, authorities releasing an affidavit during that hearing that revealed chilling new details. ABC's Alexis Christoforous breaks it down for us.
Brian Kohberger appeared in an Idaho courtroom Thursday, facing multiple charges related to the murders of 4 college students last November.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Kaylee Gonzalez's father described seeing the suspect in court.
He didn't have the swagger that I think he thought he was going to have being put in that type of situation. I think you see somebody who feels overwhelmed and defeated.
The 18-page affidavit from authorities reveals a chilling account from one of the surviving roommates. She says she awoke around 4 a.m. and thought she heard Kaylee say, "There's someone here." She looked out of her room but saw nothing. She then looked out again when she thought she heard crying from Xana Kernadle's room and heard a male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." She opened her door a third time, standing frozen as she saw a man clad in black clothing and a mask that covered his mouth and nose, saying he was athletically built and had bushy eyebrows. He then left through the sliding glass door. The roommate locked her door, and authorities say police were not contacted for another 8 hours. Police mapped out his likely route to the house. They say cell phone data also shows Kohberger was near the victim's home at least a dozen times before the murders and the morning after. Police say they discovered DNA on a tan leather knife sheath left next to one of the victims, linking that DNA to Kohberger by collecting his father's DNA from the trash outside the family home in Pennsylvania. Kohberger did not enter a plea on Thursday but maintains his innocence. Another hearing in the case is set for next week. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
Still ahead, a hotel chain is looking to get in on the pet pampering craze. Well, we have the latest when we come back.
It's the Hy-Vee Mega Meat Sale this Friday through Sunday. Thick cut pork chops, 4 for just $5. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve Round Roast, just $2.99 a pound. And Hy-Vee Bacon, only $2.99. Only at Hy-Vee.
Give it up for the very handsome Morris Chestnut. Everybody calm down.
Let me just say
They're not going to let you speak. Then, Antonio Gentry. Come on out, baby.
Weekdays at 3 on Channel 8.
Today, my friend, you did it! You did it! You
Good
did
news! A new clinical study showed that Centrum Silver supports cognitive health in older adults. It's one more step towards taking charge of your health. So every day, you can say, it's Centrum Silver.
Technically, when enamel is gone, you cannot get it back, but there are ways you can repair it. I'm excited about Pronamel Repair because it penetrates deep into the tooth to help actively repair acid-weakened enamel. I recommend Pronamel Repair to my patients.
At Ernie's in Ceresco, the New Year's celebration continues with up to 50% off. Furniture, appliances, mattresses, flooring, up to 50% off. Plus, no interest until 2029. New is good. Up to 50% off is even better. Plus, Ernie's has a huge inventory of in-stock products ready for immediate delivery. Extended through Sunday only. So hurry to Ernie's in Ceresco and Ernie's Mattress First Lincoln.
With 6 crunchy beef tacos plus a pound of potato olays, our 6-pack in a pound is perfect for date night, movie night, 1,000-piece puzzle night, camping, tailgates, or any day that ends in Y.
Get $2 off the 6-pack in a pound, only from Taco John's.
Don't miss the Hy-Vee Mega Meat Sale this Friday through Sunday. Fresh ground chuck, just $2.88 a pound. fresh chicken breasts, just $1.68 a pound. And fresh Berlasso Atlantic salmon portions, only $3.98. Only at Hy-Vee.
Americans are pampering their pets and companies want a piece of the pie.
And a new ranking of best grocery stores is out there. Here's Monica Malpass with today's Wellness Report.
BrandSpark revealed the results of its grocery industry survey. It found that Walmart and Aldi are most trusted for affordability. H-E-B Kroger was tops for store brands and freshness, and Amazon Fresh led for grocery delivery. A new blood test developed by U.S. researchers could detect a marker of Alzheimer's disease neurodegeneration without the need for expensive brain scans or invasive lumbar puncture procedures. The biomarker the test uses is specific to Alzheimer's disease, and the researchers report that it correlates well with Alzheimer's neurodegeneration markers in cerebrospinal fluid. Its development is still in the early stages, though. Americans continue to spend big on their pet pampering, and non-pet companies are now eager to grab some of those cat and dog dollars. The Wall Street Journal reports Hilton is adding hundreds of pet-friendly hotels, while snack maker Cliff Bar has unveiled a line of jerky treats for pooches. From the NASDAQ market side, I'm Monica Malpass, and here's to your health.
Speaking of pampering, Mother Nature is pampering us. We've got really nice weather for many days on our 10-day outlook. We'll have a look at that when we come back.
The countdown to savings is happening now at Ashley. Hurry into your local Ashley store or visit ashley.com to ring in the new year with new styles for every room of your home. Plus, get 5 years special financing, no minimum purchase required. Only at Ashley.
Don't lose track of what's happening over the weekend in your community. Channel 8 News brings you the first look at the weekend's top stories, local events, and the forecast for the week ahead. Stay up to date with Channel 8's Weekend News.
Enjoy the convenience of a remote car starter from Auto Sounds of Lincoln, your remote car specialist with over 75 years of combined experience. You can trust your car to Auto Sounds of Lincoln, 48th and O Street.
Jim Jones with Community Justice Center. I've been working with Quick Connect for close to 20 years. Their service is just invaluable. From all our equipment, networking, remote technical assistance, I would not be able to operate without Quick Connect.
Elegance and style go a long way in accenting your home, and so does the smile that stays with it. Our job is to take the worry out of the work and find that style and smile to match. Carpets Direct, 48th and Highway 2, Lincoln.
Gillette presents the Gillette Labs with Exfoliating Bar, a razor designed to take the hassle out of your routine with effortless shaving and one efficient stroke. The bar and the handle removes unseen dirt and debris that gets in the way of the blades, so nothing gets between you and a quick and easy shave. All with a lifetime warranty. Gillette, the best a man can get.
The countdown to savings is happening now at Ashley. Hurry into your local Ashley store or visit ashley.com to ring in the new year with new styles for every room of your home. Plus, get 5 years special financing, no minimum purchase required. Only at Ashley.
Now, your Storm Alert Team Forecast with meteorologist Malcolm Byron.
This is a live view of our Southeast Community College camera. This is rotated to face east, and well, we see some of those high clouds, but there is plenty of sunshine getting through. You can see a little bit of blue every now and again. A similar scene over our Penner Bathing Solutions camera and Aurora. Some high clouds mixed with a little bit of blue sky. This morning, the flags were not going in the wind at all. Winds were dead calm for most of the morning, and now you can see there's just a little bit of a breeze out there to at least make the flags, or at least put them into motion. 29 degrees right now at Lincoln Airport, but 30 degrees in Firth, 28 in Milford, 29 in Friend, 30 degrees in York. We see a mix of 20s and 30s across the area. 28 in Wahoo, 30 in Omaha, 29 in Columbus, 34 in Hebron. That's the warm spot on the map. 33 in Falls City, 33 degrees in Beatrice. Over the next couple of hours, we will warm up just a few more degrees, maybe 35 degrees or so by 12 o'clock, maybe reaching the lower 40s in Lincoln. For a high temperature, I'm thinking right around 42 degrees in the capital city, but Lincoln is going to be very close to the dividing line between the 30s and the 40s because you see this general trend, warming to the south and cooling to the north. Beatrice, Fairbury, Hebron all have a decent chance of reaching the middle 40s today, maybe even 50s once you get towards Kansas, but upper 30s a little bit farther north. We'll say 38 degrees in Omaha, 38 in Seward, 34 the high in Columbus. So warmer to the south, cooler to the north. Satellite radar perspective, you can see some of those high clouds drifting from west to east, but in some areas of southeast Nebraska, we're seeing a majority of sunshine as opposed to clouds. This wave of clouds right here will continue to push east, so just a mix of sun and clouds for the remainder of the afternoon, but dominated by sunshine. Now, in the western half of the state, this evening we will see more cloud development, and it'll turn mostly cloudy for the western half of the state, and all these clouds will spill into eastern Nebraska as we go into the overnight hours. This is Stormcast 10 o'clock tonight. You'd see most of central Nebraska seeing cloud cover. Early tomorrow morning, we're likely going to be waking up to partly to mostly cloudy skies, so that's how we have to start our Saturday. Also, you see a couple of flurries popping up on Stormcast here. This is one of the few versions of Stormcast still holding on strong to that solution, as there's a lot going against some snowfall, and we'll talk about why right about now. There will be moisture aloft, so let's say you got a flight tomorrow morning. When you take off, you will likely fly through some snowflakes, but there's a couple thousand feet between this pocket of moisture and the ground, and in between there we've got dry air, so as the snow will fall into that, it'll likely sublimate or melt and then evaporate. And the snowflakes just will have a hard time reaching the ground. So Stormcast snowfall potential, it's just not there. This version wants to throw just a little bit in the far southeast corner of the state, but I even think that is a stretch. We are not going to see any significant impacts from snowfall. I'd argue you're going to have a hard time seeing any snowfall out of this to begin with. So not a great flurry chance tomorrow, but we can't rule out a stray flurry or two. It will be a little bit cooler. 31 degrees the high on Saturday. Again, partly to mostly cloudy skies. 42 on Sunday, mostly sunny skies, so right back up into the 40s on Sunday. Monday, 46 degrees, and for many days next week, we've got highs in the 40s, which is above average. But by next Thursday, that's when our next disturbance approaches. Maybe seeing a wintry mix out of that. That should also drop temperatures just a little bit. So for the most part, the forecast is pretty quiet. A small chance to see a few flakes tomorrow, but really not a great chance. I'm thinking our next best opportunity to see something fall from the sky is probably going to be towards the end of next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Malcolm. Well, an incredible step forward in the road to recovery for Damar Hamlin today.
The Buffalo Bills safety now talking after collapsing from cardiac arrest during a game. The latest update on his condition up next.
It started in 1937. A female business owner, an immigrant, and a dream of a store based simply on truth and doing right by others. Over 80 years later, we still follow that philosophy. By your side as times change, but the golden rule doesn't. This is the start of new memories.
House becomes a home.
This is home.
Kenwell Tire Arena Cross Outlaws are jumping into the Lancaster Event Center this Friday and Saturday night. Action-packed racing and freestyle create the ultimate fan experience. Tickets available at the door and online now at arenacrossoutlaws.com.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has been a familiar Lincoln institution offering 24/7 service for over 95 years. Swing by to check out our deals and financing on Lennox furnaces and air conditioners. Get the customized comforts you deserve from Green's, your local Lennox dealer.
Next, E.T. Inside Al Roker's Today Show returns.
Now his moment is here.
Plus, our exclusive with the stars at the Palm Springs International Film Awards. Next, E.T.
Weekdays at 6:30 after Channel 8 News at 6.
You were almost home when suddenly you find yourself battling off the germs that cause sore throats. Luckily, you've been training for this moment by staying up to date on vaccinations, washing your hands, disinfecting surfaces at home, and avoiding touching your face. And thanks to the great tips at catchgoodhealth.org, you're on your way to being the very best at staying well. Don't let the pig damage your health this cold and flu season. Instead, start your training today at catchgoodhealth.org.
For the quality furniture you're looking for, make the drive to Beatrice and visit Sheer Quality Furniture, offering free delivery to Lincoln. High quality furniture at a great price. Sheer Furniture in Beatrice.
Now to the latest on Damar Hamlin. He is awake and communicating with visitors after suffering a cardiac arrest on the field Monday night.
And we just learned this morning he spoke with his team for the first time, flexing both of his arms for his teammates. ABC's Alex Perez reports the Buffalo Bills are calling his improvement remarkable.
This morning, Damar Hamlin defying odds, a remarkable improvement in his recovery from that terrifying cardiac arrest on the field.
He is beginning to
awaken, and it appears that his neurological condition and function is intact.
Doctors calling this a turning point in the 24-year-old's recovery. Not only has Hamlin been able to move his hands and feet, he's using a pen and paper to communicate. The first thing he wanted to know, who won the game?
When he asked, did we win? The answer is yes. You know, DeMar, you won. You've won the game of life.
Go ahead and go over to the cot. I don't like how he went down.
We're going to need everybody. All call.
Now, for the first time, we're hearing the dramatic moments as first responders scramble to help in this audio posted by the New York Times.
Come on, bring everybody. We need airway doctor, everybody.
The Buffalo Bills safety suffering that horrifying collapse on the field after this tackle during Monday Night Football.
Not what any of us want to see, and everybody's around him.
Hamlin's doctors crediting the swift actions of first responders. Medics began resuscitation less than 1 minute after his heart stopped.
To get the return of spontaneous circulation with immediate bystander CPR that was performed well is what has led us to be able to discuss these good outcomes today.
Hamlin now facing a long road ahead. He's breathing with help from a ventilator and still in the ICU. But word of his recovery, a relief for T. Higgins, the Bengals wide receiver Hamlin tackled.
Feels good, just knowing that he's okay, he's doing better, and it makes me feel better inside. So
Hamlin's emotional teammates back at practice, preparing to take the field again Sunday.
Being on that field, you lose sleep, you hurt for your brother. I think putting that helmet back on today was a really good thing for our team. We just keep hearing good news about DeMar. It just keeps pushing us forward.
DeMar's father spoke to the team, and really his message was the team needs to get back to focusing on the goals that they had set for themselves. DeMar would have wanted it that way.
And the NFL has announced Monday night's suspended game will be canceled. As for Hamlin, doctors say the next goal is to get him gradually breathing on his own and off of that ventilator. Alex Perez, ABC News, Cincinnati.
Still to come this midday, utterly terrifying. That's what one man said after a UPS truck came crashing through his home with his 3-year-old daughter inside.
Yeah, the message the man is hoping people need to hear. Stay with us.
Winter is here, which means it's time to get your home ready for anything the season will throw at you. Menards has everything you need to stay productive during the winter. Whether you're trying to keep up with the snow, save on energy, or warm up by the fire, trust the team that's dedicated to service and quality to help you make the most of your winter. Whether it's inside or out, grab this 18-inch snow shovel pusher combo for just $11.99.
Save big money at Menards.
Trying to control my asthma felt anything but normal. Enough was enough. I talked to an asthma specialist and found out my severe asthma is driven by eosinophils, a type of asthma Nucala can help control. Now, fewer asthma attacks and less oral steroids. That's my new normal with Nucala. Nucala is a once-monthly add-on injection for severe eosinophilic asthma. Nucala is not for sudden breathing problems. Allergic reactions can occur. Get help right away for swelling of face, mouth, tongue, or trouble breathing. Infections that can cause shingles have occurred. Don't stop steroids unless told by your doctor. Tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection. May cause headache, injection site reactions, back pain, and fatigue. Talk to your asthma specialist to see if once-monthly Nucala may be right for you. And learn about savings at Nucala.com. There's more to your life than asthma. Find your new normal with Nucala.
Ernie's Mattress First, your local sleep specialists.
I've been on air just about everywhere. Lincoln, Central Nebraska, and even in the Panhandle. Ending up here at KLKN after interning here over 20 years ago is something that it's hard to put into words. I'm Rusty Dawkins, Channel 8's Chief Meteorologist.
Hi, I'm Laura Carl with Black Box Rentals, Lincoln, Nebraska. Take a tour of our beautiful new townhomes located on 40th and Yankee Hill, or visit us on Facebook or blackboxinvestments.org.
Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News Midday.
Well, Welcome back, everyone. As more bills are being filed right now during the third day of the legislature, we're still receiving reaction on a controversial one that would adjust minimum wage for younger workers and new employees. Senator Tom Breezy of Albion wants to establish a youth and training wage across the state. It would pay workers between 14 and 17 years old 75% of the minimum wage for hourly workers. It would also allow businesses to pay the same rates while a new employee is training for a 90-day period. This comes as Nebraska just passed a raise in minimum wage statewide. It will have an annual increase every year until it reaches $15 an hour by 2026. Breezy's bill is receiving support from several local business groups. And another bill for debate in the session: how does no income or property tax sound?
That could be a reality for Nebraskans if a new bill gets passed or constitutional amendment petitions are signed. The proposal is called the EPIC Consumption Tax. EPIC is an acronym for Eliminates Property Income, including Inheritance, and the Corporate Business Tax. Senator Steve Erdman introduced the legislation and petitions on Thursday.
We have put a Band-Aid on an amputation by the Property Tax Credit Fund and all of those things that we've done to supposedly lower property tax. So over the last 8 years, we've given about $1 billion in property tax relief, when in fact property tax has gone up $1.6 billion. So it's a decrease in the increase. And none of that puts us competitive with our neighbors as far as taxation goes.
Under the new tax, all purchased new goods and services would be taxed at a rate of under 8%. That would exclude groceries, used cars, and previously owned homes. Businesses also wouldn't be taxed on inputs for their company. For instance, a barber wouldn't be taxed for purchasing shears. There are 2 petitions going around that would allow this bill to go forward if the legislature doesn't pass the bill and constitutional amendment that was introduced. Nebraska's legislature is unique as we're the only state with a unicameral, but there is talk about adding another body.
Channel 8's Mackenzie Johnson has more on the bill that could change the way our legislature works.
We're partisan. We always have been partisan. We always will be partisan. All right? And so the chance for us to have a bicameral and have representation from rural Nebraska more than we have now is advantageous for us.
Senator Steve Erdman introduced LR 2CA, which would amend the Constitution of Nebraska. Since 1937, Nebraska has had a unicameral legislature, meaning there is only a Senate. Erdman's proposal would bring back a House of Representatives to Nebraska, with 63 members, and would decrease the Senate to 31 members. But those in opposition say it would create more problems than solutions.
We see the partisan dysfunction that cripples our sister states and our federal government, and we should more closely work together to protect our unique system of government.
Erdman says there's already implicit partisanship and that certain counties have more power than the rest. But Conrad says the representation is reflective of demographics in the state, giving one person one vote. She agrees with Erdman that there is growing partisanship, but she doesn't agree with his method.
The solution to addressing that isn't to double down on partisanship. The solution to addressing that is honoring our state constitution, is honoring the will of the people. And if we all kind of throw our hands up as elected leaders or as citizens and say, well, I guess there's just partisanship, so we might as well just embrace it, I refuse to be taken up with that tide.
Erdman says he's aware his amendment likely won't make it to the floor for debate because so many people are in favor of the unicameral. He says his main goal was just to get people talking.
It's a chance for us to have a discussion. If you were part of the 29, or if you had the authority now, would you give that up? Probably not. But we need to have a discussion because we just hear one side of it, how wonderful the unicameral is. And if it is so wonderful, why are we the only state that has it? And one has to begin to think about that. 49 states, can they all be wrong?
Mackenzie Johnson reporting for us there. And mark your calendars for February 4th. Crete Fire and Rescue and Doane University are hosting a benefit for a firefighter hurt while battling those October wildfires in Lancaster County. Anyone looking to help Brad Elder and his family are welcome to join in free will donation events where there will be soup, supper, and a sandwich dinner, and also a silent auction. The benefit will be on February 4th from 1 to 6 p.m. on Doane's campus. For anyone who can't make it, Crete Fire and Rescue will post a link to the auction on their Facebook page. If you'd like to donate items, the auction, contact Chief Todd Allen or Nikki Wells. And for their contact information along with more details, just visit this article on our website, klkntv.com. And now for an update to a story we first brought to you yesterday at midday, and this is something you'll only see here on 8. An UPS driver caused more than $55,000 in damage after crashing into a home in southeast Lancaster County.
The homeowner, Zach Barton, spoke one-on-one exclusively with Channel 8.
Terrified. It's utterly terrifying to think that I'm in my own house and I'm not even safe.
It was a dangerous Wednesday for Zach Barton and his 3-year-old daughter. They were in their home in Holland, which is just southeast of Hickman, when they were hit with the surprise of a lifetime. They had just left the playroom inside the home when Lancaster County deputies say the driver of this UPS truck lost control, hit a parked vehicle, a utility pole, and then crashed into the Bartons' home on South 96th, smashing right into the room the two were just in.
We were in there 10 minutes before putting away all of our toys that she had out, and we were just cleaning up, and we finished, and I was starting dinner, thankfully, because otherwise we still would have been in there.
Barton says contractors think the entire front portion of the house is going to have to be removed and completely rebuilt, and that the foundation has a crack and is going to have to be trenched out and repaired.
There's a wall separating the front porch from the playroom. The wall has shifted, the floor has buckled, the door is stuck shut, the entire front of the house is peeled off. Couple inches, and the shockwave sent cracks around the entire front of the house.
And as if this weren't enough, Barton says this is not the first time something like this has happened. He says a couple of years ago there was a pickup driver who took out their neighbors' cars, hit a tree, and then just stopped several feet in front of his house. And after this latest scare, we asked him how his 3-year-old is doing.
She just keeps repeating that she's sorry about the truck, and that's really hard to explain to her, that she doesn't need to be sorry for what happened, but we're thankful that she's okay.
Barton says this puts life in perspective and makes you thankful for the good things.
Just be grateful for every moment that you have, because crazy things happen, and it very well could have been the last time.
Deputies say the 37-year-old UPS driver had an open container of alcohol in the delivery truck but was not drunk. She was cited, though, for careless driving.
Glad everyone's okay. All right, Malcolm, let's get a quick check of the forecast here.
Well, we mentioned in the last half hour the temperatures were a little bit cooler off to the north and west because there is still some snow on the ground. But I want to talk about road conditions for just a second, because we have seen a vast improvement in road conditions from previous days. On Monday and Tuesday, I remember seeing lots of pink, purple, and even some red lines where travel was not advised, where roads were impassable. Many of the roads statewide were completely covered with snow and ice. A few areas out towards Broken Bow, north central Nebraska, and even getting just to the north and west of Omaha, maybe still seeing a little bit of the roadways partially covered. At least that's what the Nebraska DOT is suggesting, but a lot of the other lines are just green, so we are seeing improvement. 29 still at Lincoln Airport, 35 in Beatrice, 37 though in Hebron. It's our southern communities that have the best chance of reaching the middle 40s this afternoon. We'll say 45 for the high in Beatrice, 45 in Hebron, 42 in Lincoln, and even cooler just off to the north and west. By sunset, we'll say 36 degrees in the capital city with mostly clear skies, and it's looking like another chilly overnight stretch, 19 degrees with partly cloudy skies heading into Saturday morning.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much, Malcolm. In Lincoln, motocross fans are gearing up for a big event that kicks off tonight. The fastest riders in the country will be at the Lancaster Event Center this weekend for the Arena Cross Outlaw Pros events. That includes several previous champions. It gets underway at 7 o'clock tonight. Doors open at 6. You can purchase tickets at the box office or visit lancastereventcenter.org. Still ahead, find out if your grocery store is considered one of the best in the nation this past year.
We'll have more on our Ag and Energy Report coming up next. Stay with us.
Get up to 80% off list prices during our huge inventory reduction sale at Slumberland Furniture. $20 million worth of furniture and mattresses must go. Lowest prices around on recliners, sofas, mattresses, and lots more. Slumberland Furniture.
At Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach, we're serving more people than ever before. Join us in expanding Bold Hope in our community as we strive to end hunger and homelessness and provide recovery resources for those in need. At Matt Talbot, Bold Hope expands.
When you are hearing impaired, family get-togethers can cause feelings of isolation and frustration. Audiologist Roy Christensen can help you with your hearing needs. Don't be left out of the conversation. Call Christensen Hearing Analytics and make your appointment today.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements.
We fix basements. Since 1994, F Foundation Repair has been fixing basements. Go to WeFixBasements.com to learn more.
Are you ready to change your future? Now hiring all positions. Come in and apply, or apply online. Not just a job. Build a career for yourself, for your family, for your future at Stonebrook Exterior.
News stories as they break, in-depth details as they emerge. Throughout the day, Channel 8's news team tirelessly tracks developing events, getting the entire story and focusing on how it impacts you. Led by an experienced team that knows Nebraska, Rod Fowler, Megan Conway, Rusty Dawkins, and Lauren Michelson. Discover what's new and what's next with Channel 8 Evening News.
Up to 80% off list prices during our huge inventory reduction sale at Slumberland Furniture. $20 million worth of merchandise must go. Lowest prices around on mattresses, rugs, bar stools, sectionals, accent chairs, and more at Slumberland Furniture.
A new ranking of best grocery stores is out.
And John Deere unveils electric excavator. Monica Malpass has more in today's Ag and Energy Report.
John Deere's electric excavator is designed to provide construction workers and road builders with lower daily operating cost, reduced job site noise, enhanced machine reliability, and zero emissions. Deere's release of its Exact Shot technology applies fertilizer using robotics. The Agriculture Department says the winter wheat crop is drier than normal. It is a concern this year as Russia and Ukraine produce a high percentage of the world's wheat for bread, and the U.S. needs a good crop to make up for what is lost in the war-torn region. Meanwhile, fertilizer prices have eased from their early 2022 peaks, but they remain at historically elevated levels. The price easing partly reflects weak demand as farmers cut back fertilizer field applications due to affordability and availability issues. And BrandSpark revealed the results of its grocery industry survey. It found Walmart and Aldi are most trusted for affordability. H-E-B, Kroger were tops for store brands and freshness, and Amazon Fresh led for grocery delivery. From the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, I'm Monica Malpass, and that's your Ag and Energy Report.
Now, your Storm Alert Team Forecast with meteorologist Malcolm Byron.
Still some waves of high clouds moving overhead. This is looking out to the south and west over our Allen Communications camera. Just a really nice and quiet day, making my job a little bit easier, which we always like to have happen every now and again. 35 degrees by noon, maybe into the lower 40s as we go over the next several hours, and then eventually dropping back down to near freezing as we get closer to 6 o'clock, eventually below freezing, closer to 7, 8, 9 o'clock tonight. Winds today, even on the lighter side, out of the east and northeast, probably anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour for most of the afternoon, but maybe every now and again seeing a couple of observations pushing 12 or 13 miles per hour. So we'll say 42 the high in Lincoln, a little bit warmer to the south, middle 40s, a better bet towards the Nebraska-Kansas state line, and just a touch cooler a little bit farther north in areas of the state that do have snow on the ground still. That will have a cooling influence on temperatures at the central, northeast, and the western sections of the state. For tonight, 19 degrees. That's a couple of degrees above the average low of 15 degrees. Partly cloudy skies tonight, a little warmer than we got this morning, and I think that's because we'll have a little bit more to deal with in the way of cloud cover. Stormcast 4 o'clock shows mostly clear skies in southeast Nebraska and even south central Nebraska, but the western parts of the state, yeah, we've got a little bit more cloud cover starting to develop later.